why don't you share with us a little bit about, tell us a little bit about Pool Scouts, what you guys do.
Well, Frank, we're a franchise brand that's been around since 2016 when we started the brand. We are in what I always describe as not a super sexy business. We're in the residential pool cleaning, maintenance, and repair business. But some really sexy components of the business are the recurring service model, the scalability of it, and really the ability as a brand to stand out as a much more professional option to your mom and pop businesses, which have historically dominated the space that we are in. So as I said, 2016, we're fortunate to be in 18 different states around the country with 47 franchisees and 105 territories or locations around the country, of which 80 are open currently.
That is incredible. This is all since 2016. You guys are definitely the epitome of an emerging franchise brand for sure.
Yeah, we've been lucky in honestly, in a lot of ways, the external environment that we're competing or that we're in has been robust. The pandemic surprisingly was friendly to the pool business. If you step back and look, people were investing and spending more times in their homes than ever over the past years. And then you had real estate markets where values were going up, super high, and interest rates had been historically low, which meant people had access to capital to invest in putting pools in their backyards. And that led to incredible growth in the pool market over the past few years, with 24% per year growth over the past 2 to 3 years. So really incredible growth, which has helped fuel us from a new franchisee and overall customer growth perspective as well.
That's great. So yeah, I think it's important to note this isn't like a pandemic thing, like you guys experienced growth because of the pandemic. You guys exploded out of the pandemic as well. So I'd love for the audience to hear a little bit about this growth. I mean, you're in 18 states. Are you guys approved in every state in the country, or where are you guys looking to grow?
Well, we really, good question. Our states and our territories, the way that we map, and always with a franchise, when you buy a territory or a location, whatever it's called, you always wonder, what do you get and how are you protected? And in our case, we map and protect by zip code the territories, and each territory contains up to 10,000 target households. Very well defined. It's kind of a rifle approach, really, with regards to the business. But the territories are mapped and protected by zip code, and those target households are single family homes with in-ground pools with incomes above $100,000. And each prospective candidate from a franchisee perspective understands where those pools are. And we know that. And then we obviously do a lot to get the phone to ring for the franchisees to help them get customers. So a very defined rifle approach to marketing and to customer acquisition. And so many brands out there have a really broad, wide range of customers that they service. But the criteria that I just mentioned to you, that's who we target. If you don't have an in-ground pool in your backyard, you're not in a single family home, and you don't usually have the income thresholds, you're not going to be a customer of ours. So that's really a differentiator from our brand perspective too.
Well, you guys are definitely different in that you know exactly what you want. And I think where so many franchisors go wrong is they go ahead and franchise. They don't have a well-defined market, and they award or sell a franchise to somebody because, well, that's where the person called from. And they don't have it targeted. And it's part of the reason why so many franchisors fail, right? Why 84% of franchisors never get to 100 units. You guys are clearly different. But one distinct difference that I want to point out right from the very beginning with the audience is that you have a distinct advantage. You're part of Buzz Franchise Brands. You're just not a founder of a company that decided, hey, I'm going to franchise this, but there are distinct advantages being part of other brands. Share with us, what are some of the brands that are part of Buzz, and what are the advantages of being part of this family?
Well, Buzz Franchise Brands, really as an organization company, started back in 2012. It started with the brand Mosquito Joe, which we built from 0 units to 340 units across 37 different states. And we sold that brand to Neighborly in 2018. Pool Scouts started in 2016 officially. I came on board in 2015 to really help build the brand and the team, et cetera. But right from the beginning, when we launched Pool Scouts, we had the advantage of having a great leadership team, first of all, unbelievable systems and structure already in our organization, and the beginning of what we now call our shared services team. So our shared services team, all in told, Buzz Franchise Brands has over 65 employees. And those employees, many of them work in the shared services group that support all of our brands. We have 4 brands in total. So a lot of the folks work in marketing. We have some folks in the finance side of things. And, operationally, each brand has its own team of leadership and support. And then we can, tap into the overall shared services group. So, for instance, as an example, we have, graphic artists in-house. We have a videographer in-house. And those folks can create content and marketing campaigns for each of the brands, but also leverage best practices across all of the brands. And that's true really with a lot of the things that we do. Our other brands are Home Clean Heroes, which is a residential home cleaning business. That brand started in 2017, franchising in 2017. We acquired a brand in 2019, which is now our largest brand, called British Swim School. And that's a brand that now boasts about 170 locations around the US and Canada. It's a brand that focuses on teaching kids how to swim in leased pool space. Great business model and exceptional leadership, and just a really great brand there. And then we recently, last year, launched a brand called Grand Illuminations, which is in the holiday lighting business. And so that's a new brand for us that we're excited to get into our second season coming up this year as well. So those 4 brands represent Buzz Franchise Brands, obviously with Pool Scouts in the mix there. But when someone comes here for a Meet the Team Day, Frank, they not only get to meet, obviously, the Pool Scouts team, they meet the leadership team of Buzz Franchise Brands, which is many of the original folks that did Mosquito Joe and built it and have built all of our brands. And they get a feel for the organization itself and really understand how much support is behind them, not just the brand team, but also Buzz Franchise Brands as well. It really carries a lot of weight, and candidates, when they come visit us here in Virginia Beach, they get a real feel for not only the culture, but the passion and the support of a big organization. Despite the size of the brand, there's a lot of people behind the scenes that are really working hard to make our franchisees successful.
So what brought you into franchising?
I was really fortunate to know the CEO and founder of Buzz Franchise Brands, Kevin Wilson. And long time ago, we have children the same age. He has a son that graduated from the University of Tennessee. I have a daughter that graduated from Virginia Tech. And we had met at a kid's birthday party when the kids were 3 or 4 years old, and stayed in touch over the years. And Kevin was always somebody that I just had a tremendous amount of respect for, and brilliant guy who has an unbelievable financial and entrepreneurial mind, and knew that if I ever had the chance to be able to work with him, that I would take it in a New York minute. And I was fortunate to stay in touch over the years, and through my different career developments, came on board in 2015 to help start and work with Pool Scouts, the second brand of Buzz Franchise Brands.
Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The Emerging Franchise Brands podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fiume, or Emerging Franchise Group, LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.